Hello YouTube, my name is Lauren. This is my first video ever. I decided to make a video because I enjoy watching other mom vlogs and thought, why not try my own? I have time right now, so yeah, kind of thought I'd try it out. To tell you a little bit about myself, I am 26, I'm married. My husband is a year older than me. We met in college. He and I got married right after I graduated college, and he had been out a year. And we have one daughter. She is 2 years old, 26 months, almost to be exact. And her name is Isabella, and she's awesome. She's a lot of work, but she's awesome. And yeah, one pretty unique thing about us is that we live in Mexico City. We're both American, but we live in Mexico City. We moved here after we got married, about a month after getting married, because my husband had a job opportunity with a nonprofit organization down here. So we came with not a whole lot planned. I was going to look for jobs teaching English, because teaching is what I wanted to do. So we came with not much. We came with each of us had our backpack with clothes, and that was it. And we came and had no money. Well, the money we had gotten from our wedding because we had asked for that as a gift instead of things because we knew we were moving. And that money basically helped us get through the first 6 months of being here because pretty quickly after moving here, my husband's job fell through for financial reasons. The company had some stuff going on and some shady business going on. So my husband tried to help them out for like 6 months, just volunteering his time, and it just wasn't working out. So that pretty much fell through. I, in the meantime, was teaching English around the city, mostly private lessons to adults in businesses. So I was teaching business English. Terrible hours. You travel all over the city, and you get paid like nothing. So it was not fun. I was not enjoying it. And I missed all my friends, and it was tough. It was a hard first 6 months. Luckily, pretty soon after we moved here, so we moved in October, at the end of October of 2008, and then I ended up in February of 2009 getting a job at an international school here, where I initially got a job as a second grade teacher's assistant. It's a K through 12 school, and it's like any other school in the States, so it's private, but yeah, the elementary school is just like elementary school in the States. It's mostly taught in English, but there's like an hour and a half of the day where they do Spanish. So I was an assistant for a while. It was awesome, and 2 years into working there, I ended up getting a job as a third grade teacher. And I'm currently a third grade teacher now, so very awesome. My husband ended up getting a job there as well. He teaches high school history, and yeah, we love it. We're really happy. We also have another baby on the way. I think I already said this, 34 weeks and 2 days pregnant right now. My baby boy is due September 7th. However, he will be coming September 1st because I have a planned cesarean. My daughter was an unplanned cesarean. I had gone in to induce labor on my due date. I was 40 weeks pregnant because she was transverse. Side to side, and so they were hoping if they were able to induce labor and start contractions that she would kind of push her into the right position, which it actually ended up doing. I was on Pitocin for like 4 or 5 hours, and she totally moved into the birth canal. She was doing really well, her heart rate was great, but I was not doing well. Turned out I had preeclampsia. I had noticed symptoms maybe 2 or 3 days before going to the hospital, but it was just the swelling, and I kind of didn't think a lot of it because it was summer and it was hot, and yeah, I just didn't think a whole lot of it. But when I got in there, they took my blood pressure initially before we started the Pitocin, and it was a little high, but we kind of just chalked it up to being nervous. But it kept rising and rising and rising, and so I got a urine test where they found tons of protein in my urine. So the proteins mixed with super high blood pressure that was only getting higher and all my swelling, my body was just kind of shutting down on me. So about 5 hours into labor, on Pitocin, a really heavy dose, I had progressed 0. I was still dilated at a 1, which is what I was prior to even coming in. So, and my contractions were like terrible with no breaks. I mean, I was probably getting like 30 seconds in between. So, yeah, we just decided to get the baby out, more for my health than the baby's health. And an hour later, she was out. Healthy, little. She was about 6 pounds. And awesome. And I definitely would not recommend anyone choosing a cesarean. The recovery was brutal, really, really tough, definitely depressing. You want to hold your kid, but you're in so much pain. It affected my nursing because I was breastfeeding her, but I was having issues with how I could hold her, so she wasn't comfortable and wasn't clinging to one side. She would only cling to one side, so that made me all uneven and so anyway, we struggled with that. But this time around, I'm a little bit more confident that it'll go well, just because I know what to expect. I also am definitely coming to the hospital with my pump, my breast pump, prepared in case I'm having any issues nursing. I want to be able to at least pump milk so that I can help the milk come in. And yeah, I think kind of knowing how it all works out and knowing that it's good to get up and moving as soon as possible really will help this time. So anyway, baby boy will be here September 1st via C-section unless he decides to come earlier. Although currently he is transverse as well. That's for whatever reason, that's how my babies like to be in my tummy. I can feel him constantly on like either side of me. He's never up and down. So at my last ultrasound, he was transverse, and based on the way he's moving right now, I can tell he still is. So yeah, seems to be very similar to my first pregnancy. I haven't really had any issues. Early on in the pregnancy, in the earliest parts of my second trimester, I started to feel contractions. They weren't consistent, and it was only a couple days where I was feeling them, but my doctor put me on bed rest for 3 days because I was just doing too much. As a teacher, your job is to be on your feet, to be with the kids, to be jumping around and keeping them engaged. It's a really tough job, one that I love, but it is tough and it wears on your body. And so I think I was just overdoing it, which is exactly what happened with my pregnancy with my daughter. I got put on bed rest because, again, I was overdoing it and my body was low on amniotic fluid. And so, yeah, I rested. That seemed to do a lot better. And I'm currently on summer vacation, so I haven't had to work for the last month and a half, which has been awesome. So, and my husband's been home too because he's on summer vacation, so we both teach, which has just been awesome. So we've been hanging out with my daughter, and I've had his help, which has been great. So really good way to kind of prepare ourselves before this new baby comes, and we have 2 kids instead of 1. It's still crazy to me to say that I'm going to have kids, plural, or children, that I have children. Never thought I would have children this young. Never thought I would get married that young. My husband and I were totally anti that. We were going to be independent and travel and do things and get married later in our 20s, maybe 30s. But we met each other and fell in love and knew that it was too good to pass up. So, best decision I've ever made. Love the guy. And then after getting married, we were like, oh yeah, we're not having kids for a while. But after a year of being here and being married, everything was working out really well. We had moved into a house. Our jobs were going well. We felt stable. We loved the idea of maybe having a kid in a foreign country where they could learn another language. Our Spanish was getting better. So with all of that going on, we just decided to go for it. We said, well, why not? We have health insurance. We're stable. We want this. So we kind of gave ourselves a window of when we would try and get pregnant, and that if it didn't work out in that time, we would just say, oh well, we'll do it later. And we didn't necessarily try, we just stopped not trying. We just did our normal thing. And 2 weeks after deciding we wanted to try and have a kid, I was pregnant. So it didn't take long. I think partially because I wasn't really stressing about it. I was kind of just like, whatever happens, happens, and we'll see. So, but we were totally excited, and this time around, we did plan this one as well. We wanted our kids to have maybe a 2 or 3 year age difference. And with this guy, it took us a little bit longer, which isn't saying much, but it took us about 2 months, maybe. I was really stressed out at work and tired, and so I think, and there were a couple times where we both got really sick with stomach flu. I feel like all that kind of combined sort of put us on hold in that time. So, but yeah, it took us about 2 months. And a cool side note is that my sister-in-law is also pregnant, and 2.5 weeks ahead of me. And she has a son who is 5 months younger than our daughter. So, you know, our kids right now are 5 months apart, and then our kids that are coming are going to be about 2 weeks apart, which is just crazy. So we're super stoked and excited to have cousins all around the same age. She has a son, and they are having another boy, so they'll have 2 little boys. And then we have our daughter, and this is a boy, so we'll have a boy and a girl. I'm very excited. Yeah, so that's all I can think of right now. I'm thinking of trying to update maybe weekly, just about how pregnancy's going, how life is going with my daughter. This is the last week before my husband has to go back to work. I get to be on maternity leave. In Mexico, maternity leave is 6 weeks before your due date and 6 weeks after, and they don't let you move that around, because honestly, if I could choose, I'd just have all of it after, because 6 weeks after is not very long, and I'll get on to more of that. Makes me sad to think about right now, but going back to work. But yeah, my husband will have to go back to work in a week. So in a week, it'll be just me and my daughter. Normally we have a nanny when we're both working who comes at 6 in the morning, because we leave for work then. And our daughter normally doesn't wake up until about 8. And so at 8, my nanny will get her up, get her fed, get her ready, and then she goes to a preschool just around the corner from our house. And she's there for 4 hours from 9 to 1. And it's tiny. It's the most awesome little school ever. It's all in Spanish. She only has 3 other kids in her little age group, and they go up to kindergarten. So she's actually with kids of all ages, up to kindergarten, and they interact all the groups together, which I think is really great. Her language skills have like exploded. She talks nonstop in both languages, which is amazing to see. Yeah, so she's there from 9 to 1. We started her there when she was about 1.5. So yeah, so she's there until 9 to 1, and then at 1 o'clock my nanny picks her up and brings her home. They hang out. Sometimes she takes a nap, sometimes she doesn't. She'll eat, and my husband and I get home around 3:30. So it's not ideal in that if we had the ideal situation, I would be a stay-at-home mom. It's what I really wish I could do. But financially, that just doesn't work for us. We both have to work to make life work. But if I could choose a backup situation, this would be what I would choose. It's the best we can be doing, and we're really excited for how well it's working out for our daughter. She loves our nanny. She's been our nanny since Isa was 8 weeks old. So Isa loves her and loves her school, loves her friends at school. It's been great. So that's our situation. When our son is born, he will be full-time at the house with the nanny only when I go back to work. Obviously, before I go back to work, I'll be with him. But when I go back to work, our nanny will be with him full-time. And yeah, he won't be going to a daycare until he's older. I think we'll do the same thing though that we did with our daughter. We'll end up putting him into the preschool when he's a little over 1, just for part of the day, because I think it's really good for them to socialize and for language. So, and the school's really good about helping with fine motor skills, and it's just been awesome to see with my daughter and to see all the things she does and has learned. So yeah, that's our plan. But my daughter and husband are currently out right now. He went to go to lunch with some friends and took her along to give me a little bit of time by myself, which is pretty awesome. I like alone time from time to time. So anyway, that's it. Yeah, so hopefully I'll get another update in a week or so, but maybe sooner if I end up finding some alone time. But yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you soon. Bye.